Hello and welcome to the wet and windy Clay Pigeon Raceway on the 8th of May 2021 for Wessex Championship weekend, this being the final of the racing on Saturday. All sessions over the weekend will be added up towards the Wessex Championship point total, and the person with the most points over the both days will be the Wessex champion. You can see now on the grid, number 40 Ben Joseph in front of us on the wet tyres. There is not a great deal of standing water out there, but it is very, very slippery, as has been basically the story of the day. It has been wet, dry, but a very wet qualification in the morning, being topped by Ben Joseph ahead of his countryman and teammate Billy Thomas. Sylvain Bessier third ahead of Michael Bell, with Paul Alexander and Anthony Cleal making up the top six. Russell O'Neill 7th ahead of Rob Mortimer, the top novice Tom Parker in 9th, Kieran Quirk in 10th, and Adrian Helps and John Hartshaw in 11th and 12th, with both Phil Shears and Robin Stones coming in underweight. That would then set the grid for the heat, which was also won by Ben Joseph, this time from Sylvain Bessier by 0.3 of a second. Billy Thomas held off Mike Bell for 3rd and 4th ahead of Anthony Cleal, Russell O'Neill, Robin Stones, Paul Alexander, Phil Shears and Tom Parker running out the top 10. And that would then set the grid for the pre-final, which was won this time by the number 29 Sylvain Bessier, with Russell O'Neill in 2nd ahead of Anthony Cleal, Ben Joseph, Billy Thomas, Michael Bell, Phil Shears, Robin Stones, Paul Alexander and Kieran Quirk. As you can tell by the lap times, the pre-final was basically dry. Everyone was out there on slicks, but some rain did come down in the middle of the pre-final and has stuck through, so the track's still wet for the final, with the grid as the pre-final finish. So Sylvain Bessier, the number 29, will be on pole position ahead of Russell O'Neill, with Anthony Cleal and Ben Joseph on row 2. Billy Thomas in the 85 and Michael Bell, who are on board, with now in 6th place ahead of Phil Shears, Robin Stones, Paul Alexander, Kieran Quirk, Tom Parker, Rob Mortimer, John Hartshaw and Adrian Helps. Quick point of note that both Phil Shears in 7th and Kieran Quirk in 10th, first race off of novice plates. It's for the Wessex Championship, so they're integrating quite well. And also the first run out of the year for Robin Stones in 8th place. These are the sort of conditions he usually thrives in, so we'll see how everything unfolds. As we are on board with Bell, look in front to the right, that's Sylvain Bessier. He's going to put his foot down, he's going to hold for a minute, and away we go. Bessier doesn't look like he's had the best of start, so Neil's had a good one. Cleal's gone with him, and it's Russell O'Neill leading into turn 1 from Bessier, Cleal, Bell and Joseph side by side. Thomas on the inside getting boxed in. He's going to go through on the way into the chicane, and Billy Thomas repasses Mike Bell through the chicane, so the top 5 remain the same. Up the Sturmey straight they go. O'Neill leads from Bessier into the hairpin. Cleal going for 2nd ahead of Joseph, and that's a spin. That's Robin Stones going back into the back of the pack, and he's going to spin it round, get it underway again. Not too much damage done. And Robin Stones looking to get back up the order once again. You can see Bell going through buttons and up towards top bend, and the top 5 really checking out. Something not quite sitting right with Bell, it looks like, as he's going to slide wide once again. And that's alongside us now, number 27, Kieran Quirk, taking that 6th position. He came from 10th on the grid, so a good first lap from Quirk. Old Shears looking like he's going with him as well, as Shears is ahead of Bell as the top 5 go through the chicane, and Bell fires one back on Phil Shears as they go through the chicane. Mortimer and Alexander battling in behind as well, as there's the number 16, the Team Lotus stickered Gillard of Phil Shears makes the move on Bell through the hairpin and up towards the horseshoe, and instantly Shears right onto the attacking Kieran Quirk. So both the former novices going very well out there on their first run on yellow plates. Through buttons they go and up towards the top bend, but you can see the top 5 really checked out. Quirk and Shears battling for 6th and 7th, so they go down the start straight as O'Neill still leads, new fastest lap from Sylvain Bessier. Ben Joseph now ahead of Anthony Cleal, so that's the move made for 3rd place. Number 40 ahead of the number 1, with Billy Thomas in the 85 right with them for close company. Then there's Quirk and Shears, Bell and Mortimer, Alexander and Parker, Helps and Stones, so everyone in a battle as Quirk looks to defend from Shears, and sure enough he does. Mortimer attacking Bell as well, and that's a spin from Phil Shears, just on power on the exit of the hairpin and up towards the horseshoe. Shears going to get it pointed back the right way again, but he's going to drop down the order. Now we're on board with Bell running tight through buttons up towards top bend, and that's number 66, that's Rob Mortimer going up the inside in top bend. Again, a little bit of a slide on the exit curve, but Mortimer makes the spot. New fastest lap from Ben Joseph in 3rd place, hunting down the top 2. There's Quirk now on his own. Then there's Mortimer ahead of Bell, Alexander and Parker. And that looks like Shears in behind in 11th. Yep, sure enough it is. It's through the chicane onto the Sturmy Straight. Parker looking aggressive against Paul Alexander. Just helps and Hartshorn, everyone's still going and in close company, and sure enough Parker to the inside of Paul Alexander for the hairpin, and he has made the move stick. Alexander looking to try and make a retort into the horseshoe, but to no avail. And that's positions changing for 8th and 9th. And now on board with Bell up towards top bend. You can see Mortimer starting to check out into the distance. New fastest lap for the race leader, Russell O'Neill trying to extend the gap from Vessier with Ben Joseph going with them. Billy Thomas now up into 4th ahead of Anthony Cleal. So all changing, looks like Cleal struggling, not really a huge fan of these conditions. There's Parker now with Phil Shears looking to go underneath at Billy's blind. Parker's going to hang on around the outside. But there's Shears, Alexander and Robin Stoddart-Stones all in battle as well. Down the Sturmy Straight they go, and that is Stoddart-Stones up the inside of Paul Alexander. Going to get it hooked in and get the power down on exit. There's Adrian Helps holding off John Hartshorn for 13th and 14th, so everyone in a battle. Russell O'Neill trying to extend the gap, another new personal best, fastest lap of the race ahead of Sylvain Vessier with Ben Joseph closing in on them. Billy Thomas in 4th ahead of Cleal. Then there's Quirk in a big gap in 6th, Mortimer trying to close him down. There's Bell and Shears and Stoddart-Stones both making it move on Tom Parker as they go through the chicane. Can Parker do anything back to them? Doesn't appear to be able to quite yet. As Shears and Stoddart-Stones both closing straight back onto the back of Mike Bell. Paul Alexander handing it on in there in 12th. And then we look back, there is Adrian Helps and John Hartshorn. Hartshorn looking for a way past Helps. Now back to Billy's blind, new fastest lap of the race for Sylvain Vessier in 2nd as both Vessier and Ben Joseph take chunks out of Russell O'Neill in that lap. There's Quirk, he's in 6th and he's gaining on Anthony Cleal. So too Rob Mortimer, and in behind there is Bell and Shears and Stoddart-Stones, 3 of them all together into Billy's blind. Alright, through the chicane, Bell hanging on ahead of Shears, ahead of Stoddart-Stones, and Tom Parker's going with them to make this a 4-kart train. Shears looking to the inside, but to no avail. Can he get the inside on the exit? No, he can't. But he's going to hold off Stoddart-Stones. This looks like a combustible situation. Definitely some positions going to be changing there, I'm sure. Speaking of, that's John Hartshorn on the outside. He's going to make the move on Adrian Helps. No, Helps fights back on the inside as they go side by side through the horseshoe. Now we're on board with Bell, down the straight and towards the kink. Easy flat in the dry, far tougher in the wet. As you see Bell, the back end stepping out. No grip there for Bell, it looks like, as Stoddart-Stones is going to move to the inside, up into the chicane, and Robin Stoddart-Stones makes the pass for 8th place ahead of Mike Bell, with Phil Shears and Tom Parker now tucked up tight behind. Doesn't look like Bell's going to have a retort against Stoddart-Stones. Phil Shears now already on the attack. As back to the battle with Helps and Hartshorn. Adrian Helps hanging on, but John Hartshorn looks like he's going to set up for a better run up the Sturmy Straight. He's on the wrong side though for the hairpin, unless he can try and go round the outside, and Helps hangs on for now. Battle over 13th position. There you can see the leaders. Another fastest lap from Sylvain Vessier in 2nd, trying to hunt down Russell O'Neill. Now we're on board with Bell going through buttons, and that on the outside of us, that's Phil Shears making the move. So number 16, that's how he got into 9th place. You can see Quirk gaining on Cleal, Mortimer likewise, and then look back down the road, that's Stoddart-Stones in the all black ahead of Phil Shears with the white helmet, and then Bell and Parker battling for 10th. Meanwhile, Hartshorn having a look at Helps into Billy's blind, nothing doing there. Russell O'Neill with a new fastest lap of the race, responding to the pressure from Vessier. Ben Joseph still in the background of that fight, as once again Hartshorn looking to the outside, but to no avail. Helps going to cover that inside line off, and he's going to get the run on the exit to go through to the horseshoe. Top 3, the lead group are catching them though. And speaking of being caught, Anthony Cleal being caught by half a second by Kieran Quirk on that time by alone. So Quirk and Mortimer reeling the national champion in. Bell running wide. It's going to give Parker a bit of an incentive to get the closing speed on. As now into Billy's blind, that's Russell O'Neill making a move. He's past Helps, he's past Hartshorn. Now Vessier and Joseph are negotiating John Hartshorn as well, as through they go. And Ben Joseph has really made hay while the sun is not shining. And they're going to go round Adrian Helps, and Joseph's going to go up the inside of Vessier. They're going to go 3 wide. Vessier went to the left, Joseph went and spotted the gap to the right. A fantastic opportunistic move for Ben Joseph to take second place. Now we look back to Robin Stoddart-Stones and Phil Shears in battle as they go up the Sturmey Straight towards the Han Hairpin. Those two pulling away from Bell and Parker at a rate of knots, and in fact are gaining on Anthony Cleal in 5th, so Cleal being caught by practically everyone back to back 9th. O'Neill now extending that lead ahead of Joseph, now ahead of Vessier, so 2nd and 3rd have swapped. There's Billy Thomas in the bright yellow rain suit, now he's on the back of Hartshorn and Helps. He's going to try and get through past them as quick as possible. And sure enough, down the Sturmey Straight, Billy Thomas manages to get by, and he's going to get on up the road, chasing after the top 3. As Anthony Cleal now has Kieran Quirk almost close enough to start having to think about making a move. Stoddart-Stone still holding off Phil Shears. And there's Bell and Parker and Paul Alexander, the 3 of them looking to slightly struggle a little bit. New fastest lap once again for Russell O'Neill, first into the 42 seconds. New personal best as well from Ben Joseph in behind. So it looks like the top 2 are kicking on a little bit. Meanwhile, into Billy's blind, Anthony Cleal with Kieran Quirk right on his bumper. Through the chicane they go. Quirk looks like he could be setting up for a run on exit, as Hartshorn once again looking to the outside of Helps. And that's Kieran Quirk going up the inside of Anthony Cleal. Kieran Quirk takes 5th place. Excellent run from the novice graduate, should I say. Shears and Stoddart-Stones gaining as well. That is Bell and Parker. And that is not a healthy sound. That's Russell O'Neill. That cart does not sound right. You can hear a distinct difference in the volume and pitch coming from that cart when he goes by, so that's indicating possibly an exhaust problem. And that's going to be a black and orange flag for Russell O'Neill, so his poor start to the year not getting any better in the luck department. As there is now Quirk, Cleal and Mortimer's caught Cleal as they're all getting through the Hartshorn and Helps battle. Through goes Cleal, through goes Quirk, Rob Mortimer next up to get by. Phil Shears having a look to the inside of Robin Stoddart-Stones for the Han Hairpin, but nothing doing there as they go up through the horseshoe. Back to Billy's blind, Russell O'Neill still going, but you can hear something's not right, and you can tell O'Neill is slowing down. His last lap 2 seconds off his best. So Russell O'Neill possibly touring that car in. So yeah, you can hear it overpowering ahead of Ben Joseph, and O'Neill there with the hand up, basically saying to the carts behind, I'm not racing, I'm coming in the pit lane. And that's a problem, that's another problem. Phil Shears, he's slowed right down as Bell and Parker both go by on the way into Billy's blind. Got a hand on the carburettor, could be a throttle type issue there for Phil Shears as he's going to limp that through the chicane. Paul Alexander is going to reel him in as they go up the Sturmey Straight. And sure enough, Alexander going to breeze on by. Now, is Phil Shears also going to be touring that in, or is he going to struggle that on? Either way, Russell O'Neill out of the race, so that's going to move everybody up a position. I expect Phil Shears may be joining him. That's going to promote this battle. Quirk and Cleal up to 4th, and Cleal back to 5th. And that's Robin Stoddart-Stones up the inside of Rob Mortimer, so Stoddart-Stones making hay as well. Mortimer still struggling to get by John Hartshorn and Adrian Helps, as Helps actually passed Hartshorn since the last time we've seen this battle. Bell and Parker closing in as well, and Stoddart-Stones makes it through, and he's going to get up the way. Rob Mortimer still struggling to get past John Hartshorn now. As here is your new race leader, Ben Joseph in the black and green. He's extending that gap 2/10 on the last lap ahead of Sylvain Vessier, with Billy Thomas making it 2 in the top 3 for Team Wales. To go through the Han Hairpin, timers just hit 0 of the 12 minutes plus lap race, and next time by will be the last lap for the leaders. There's Mortimer past Hartshorn, he's still struggling with Helps, and that's letting Bell and Parker gain nearly 3 seconds on that last lap. Was Bell gaining on Mortimer, Parker a few more tenths as well. And Parker's gaining right on Bell, so all still to play for the back end of the top 10. But meanwhile, Joseph and Vessier, the top 2, start the final lap. Through the chicane goes Ben Joseph. Dylan Vessier is still close enough for if Joseph makes a mistake, so he's going to have to nail his lines. Round the hand hairpin and up towards the horseshoe they go. Now we're on board with Bell, going down the start-finish straight. See the last lap board displayed overhead. Mortimer still struggling to get by Adrian Helps, and that's going to give Bell a chance if he can get past Hartshorn. Into the chicane they go. And on the way out up Stony Straight, Mortimer to the outside of Helps. Bell having a look at Hartshorn as well. And Tom Parker going to the inside of Bell, so things kicking off here. They look like they've nudged even on the exit. Ben Joseph has crossed the line now to take the win, and his first win of his stint in Formula Blue. The former Junior Blue champion from 1999 takes the win in the senior class. As up towards Top Bend we go now, on board with Bell. So he's holding off Parker. We're going to move to the alongside John Hartshorn, and across the line they all go. A fantastic race up and down the field. Mortimer there finishing. Bell holding off Parker, and Paul Alexander going to be the last man across the line. Something not quite right with Alexander in that race. Doesn't seem to have the pace he did last year. Well, that was an exciting race. Ben Joseph, new fastest lap of the race on the last lap, en route to taking the victory. As the karts are all going to roll in through scrutineering. Have their top 3 having their engine heads checked, and the results will be made official momentarily after that. There's the final few karts now just driving in. Everything all square in scrutineering, and the results will stand. Ben Joseph is going to take the win here on the Wessex Saturday, ahead of Sylvain Vessier, with Billy Thomas in 3rd, Kieran Quirk 4th, ahead of Anthony Cleal, with Robin Stones receiving a 5-second front bumper penalty, but that's not going to change his position. He's going to be 6th, ahead of Rob Mortimer, with Michael Bell, Tom Parker and Paul Alexander running at the top 10, with Adrian Helps and John Hartshorn both finishing, and unfortunately Russell O'Neill and Phil Shears going out on the same lap. That's going to be the end of that for the Wessex Championship Saturday. There's going to be another video coming up for the Sunday's Wessex Championship. A few more people racing in that, as this one is a non-championship round, and Sunday is for all the points and where all the marbles will be decided. And so we shall see you then, as that is a complete exhaust off the back of the engine of Russell O'Neill, so that is a big problem, and that's what would have caused his retirement. But we shall see you for the next Formula Blue race video, which will be the Sunday from the same weekend of the Wessex Championship.
Sorry to hear about your little off or whatever, and bad maintenance, obviously. If you need any help or advice, come to the Alexander crew. And thanks for the advice to put the inters on, because they were shit. And buy your beer later.